All right. Here we are, New Guys episode 12, I think.
12.
Not a whole lot going on this week. Jumping right into it, right off the bat. Those of you who follow Ride the Wave, obviously you watch our podcast, you probably follow our Instagram page, and Babs posted something, the Spike King, about Malcolm Butler, obviously controversial benching 2 or 3 years ago against the Eagles in the Super Bowl, which, some people might say might have cost us the game because we let up like 42 points or whatever it was, 41. And the story was that basically Malcolm Butler was with this chick in his room, smoking some weed or whatever. He got hotel security or something called on him a couple times, asking him like chill out or whatever. And then Belichick, Eric Rowe, and Belichick's son went up to confront him and tell him like, yo, knock it off. Obviously I think they have a game. It might have been the day before. I don't really know. But Malcolm Butler was just basically like, Steve Belichick, you're only really with the team because your daddy's the coach or whatever. Shoved him into the wall, cut up his back on like some fancy hotel painting.
His exact words were, the only reason spelled, because this was on a Reddit post, it was spelled R-E-F-U-H-N or something like that. You got a job, J-A-H-B, it was spelled, because that's how Malcolm Butler probably pronounced it, is because your daddy is the coach or whatever.
Yeah,
that was the exact quote. I don't know why.
So this is kind of a wild story. I'm surprised you haven't heard of this before, but this is some Reddit guy who apparently is in-laws with the Patriots high staffer on the business end. What do you guys think about that? You guys think there's any truth to this thing, or what's going on here?
I don't even know, bro. It's such a mystery. I don't even know like what to believe at this point. It's funny how we're still talking about it, even years after it occurred. Yeah, I don't know. Anthony, you got anything?
Yeah,
I really don't have. I don't know. Go ahead.
I had a conversation with Babs about this earlier because I read about half of it, which was my mistake because I didn't read to the end. I'm like, how credible is this? Yeah. And then before he can even get back to me, I realized, it's someone pretty close with the Patriots. So we were just going back and forth about it, and he said that we're really never gonna know what the 100% truth is. It's just something that they don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
But I feel like this really can be the 100% truth. Just because I don't know, I just got that bad vibe from Malcolm Butler, if that makes any sense. Just after that Super Bowl play, I don't think after that Super Bowl play, he was automatically deemed the number one corner. He was regarded as many to be the best corner in the league off of one play. I mean, don't get me wrong, 11 or 12-year-old me agreed that he was one of the best corners in the league. He had a couple of good games. I remember him locking down Antonio Brown week 1 the next season, opening night. And after that, he was just very, very inconsistent. I believe it was him that gave up that touchdown to Corey Davis in the divisional round a few years ago. Against the Titans.
Lost, yeah. I think.
He got completely embarrassed. I'm like, here we go. Butler's going to cost us another football game. I think he ended up destroying them like 42-14 or some like crazy margin like that. But
whatever happened to Corey Davis? Side tangent, but like that dude went like top 5.
And he's supposed to be really good, yeah.
Yeah, he's like nothing now.
I remember playing Madden Mobile back in the day, and he had like a free 95 overall card. I'm like, all right, sick. That's the reason I remember Corey Davis.
And he had like 2 touchdowns in that game against us too. He was doing like some damage, and then I guess they got AJ Brown now, but
he's pretty freaking good.
He's
I thought he was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Nah, Josh Jacobs got robbed. Josh Jacobs got robbed.
I said a quarter of the way through the year. I didn't say for the whole year, but he had us in the beginning there.
I can't believe Kyler they gave it to him. He's the quarterback.
Stash it.
I mean,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, the thing about Malcolm Butler is that, like, he, first of all, it's like you said, Anthony, he wrote that one play, like, for 3 years. He wrote that play for a new contract in Tennessee. Like, he doesn't get that money from the Titans if he hadn't, like, had made that one pick. So, I mean, and it's like you said also, it's the Patriots. Like, we're never going to know the entire truth. But I feel like I believe it because I had heard some kind of rumors about something involving drugs on that night, and
Yeah.
fits the mold. So.
And then during my conversation with Babs, I hate to interrupt you. We were talking and it got my brain going a little bit. I came up with the theory: if that play never happened, we obviously would have lost that game. If they pounded it with Marshawn Lynch, I'd say there's like a 95% chance they would have scored there. Not saying definitely, because we obviously had that big stand on 1st and goal, stopping them. I think it was like a 4-yard or 3-yard.
Yeah, it was like 5 yards, something like that.
I just want to cut you off for a second, Anthony. Like Hightower's play on that, I watch like the Super Bowl 49 thing all the time. Yeah. Hightower's play there, and like I hear them gushing about it in the documentary, is so crazy. He like absolutely just shoves. I think it might be, I don't know. He shoves like some huge lineman right off of him, and like gets Marshawn Lynch with his shoulder down to the 1-yard line. It's just absolutely crazy. Not talked about enough. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we were just talking about it, and it got my brain going. If that play never happened, obviously Seattle would have won, and I think that would have been the beginning of the end for the dynasty. Obviously, it launched a whole other dynasty within the dynasty, as I mentioned on my greatness article comparing them to the Bulls. But if that play never happened, I think the tensions would have started 3 years earlier, because obviously we know after Super Bowl 52, that loss, Gronk wasn't happy, Brady wasn't happy with the current situation. So I think we're lucky to have Super Bowl 53, just because it could have went to complete shit after that game, with Brady leaving and Gronk leaving. Who knows what would have happened. I don't want to know what would have happened, but I feel like if Butler never made that play, he would not have been re-signed. He definitely would not have been re-signed. He probably would have just fell into the same hole that most undrafted rookie free agents fall into, and not achieving any stardom or anything like that. And I think that definitely would have increased tensions within the Patriots front office, like that 3-man power struggle that's been rumored over for 3 years between Brady, Belichick, and Kraft. I think it would have all started there.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting because Malcolm Butler, like, theoretically was kind of a no-name that whole season, and then that pick, spun his career around. But it's like people like were under the impression that like he became some elite corner just because of that one play, and like that obviously isn't the case. It's like saying if an NBA player dropped 30 points in one game, they're all of a sudden like an elite player in the league. Like that's not true. And even more so with one interception, like that doesn't really make any sense. It wasn't like he was great that entire game. He just kind of made a great play at the end when it mattered. But I mean, it definitely turned his career for the better. He got his payday, even though, he wasn't able to help us against the Eagles. And who knows, like we say, we're never going to find out why. But, it's just interesting because I saw an article earlier this week that said Shane Vereen was on WEI, and he said that he hasn't got, like, he wasn't on the team, obviously, when we faced the Eagles, but he played for us, and there were still former guys on the team, and he had asked around about the Malcolm Butler situation, and he said that he had never got the same answer twice. So no one really knows, what really happened. And like you said, Anthony, no one's ever going to know. Belichick's the most secretive guy. The Patriots organization as a whole don't let stuff slip out. That's why there was so much talk about, is there a power struggle or is there not? Is this the end of the dynasty? Is there not? There's so much behind the scenes that, especially this, if it does come out, it might come out in like a documentary. I don't think the Brady one, but maybe if they do one on the dynasty in 5 or 6 years. But I don't know. I don't know if Belichick will ever let that out, and he's really the only one that I think truly knows what happened.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Jordan, it's interesting that Vereen said he never heard the same story twice, because back when it actually happened, after Super Bowl 53, they were saying that I think he was like giving the coach's attitude in practice or something. Or he was like giving him lip or something, and Belichick didn't like that, so he benched him. For all we know, it could be a combination of all these stories, but it really is like you said, I think it is interesting how that kind of like just propelled his career. I think he had a Pro Bowl nod like the year after, but obviously without that pick, I mean, honestly, I'd say if he didn't have that pick, he wouldn't have gotten to the Pro Bowl next year. He probably wouldn't have even had the opportunity to start and be the Patriots' #1 cornerback. So it's really interesting how like one play can really change his whole entire trajectory of his career, honestly. Yeah. This is kind of something remarkable.
And you say that the full story could come out in like 5 or 6 years from now, and they make that documentary about the dynasty like they did with the Bulls. And that can be a story like, I don't know, like the flu game, something we thought we knew, but it was really something a little bit different. And I think that could be interesting, but I don't think it will happen because, unlike The Undertaker, Bill Belichick will never break kayfabe, as they say in the wrestling business.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, going to wrestling, Anthony.
Great transition right there.
Yeah, look at that. Set himself up.
We got Backlash coming up this Backlash coming up this Sunday. I think this is the third pay-per-view with the whole social distancing pandemic thing going on. This time is going to be a little bit more of a crowd, as these past few weeks the WWE and AEW have been incorporating some sort of a crowd, and I think that's going to make this pay-per-view 10 times better than WrestleMania, just because it's going to have that crowd reaction. Quick predictions here. I got the 7 matches that we know right now. SmackDown's going to be airing in about a half hour from now, so maybe they'll throw something in there. I really don't know. I don't think so. 7-match card. I'm going to start off with the United States Championship match: Apollo Crews versus Andrade. I think Apollo Crews is going to win. I don't know. I feel like this match can go either way. Doesn't make sense to have Apollo Crews' first title reign ends in like 2 or 3 weeks. I think he's had the title now. Yeah, I just don't think it's time for Crews to drop the title. I don't think he'll drop it to Andrade, as much as I admire Andrade for being a great heel. That's a thing I want to get into with heel characters. I know you guys aren't as knowledgeable about pro wrestling as I am. Not to sound like a cocky dick or anything.
No, you're totally right.
Fuck you,
no offense,
man. Is like a bad guy, and if I don't like you just because you act like a dick on TV, you're doing a pretty good job as a heel. Doesn't take the fact away that you're doesn't take the fact away that you're a good wrestler. You're just good at being a dick. That's all I can say. Next up, we got the women's tag team champion match. Women's tag team championship match. Kind of interesting to see. No men's tag team championships. Maybe too long of a card. I don't know. I think that's a problem I've been complaining about for a little while now. Champions Bayley and Sasha Banks taking on the Iconics and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. I see the Iconics winning this one. There's no way that with the kind of the tension that they're building up with Sasha Banks and Bayley right now, I don't think they're going to hold the titles for much longer. I think that's going to be the top feud on the SmackDown Women's Division, which I want to get into. I'm sorry, but when they won those tag team titles last Friday on SmackDown, it pissed me the fuck off. Because there is so much goddamn talent on that SmackDown Women's roster. You got Sasha Banks, Bayley. I don't even know if Alexa Bliss is on fucking SmackDown because she's been going cross brands with the women's tag titles, because that's the rule. You got to go on both brands. You got people like Lacey Evans, Naomi, these talented people being held back by this slow, fucking agonizing build-up, which I don't think will ever come to a boiling point the way that I see Pat smiling. I'm just want to fucking punch you through this. Anyway, Iconics win. I don't see any other way. See it happening any other way. Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. I really don't care about this match, besides the fact that Jeff Hardy got taken out by a cop car in handcuffs 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. I see Jeff Hardy winning. People aren't going to be happy if Jeff Hardy doesn't win just because he's Jeff fucking Hardy. Everybody loves him. If you don't have a soul. Raw Women's Championship.
Raw
Women's Championship. Asuka versus Nia Jax. Nia Jax notorious for injuring people because of her recklessness and carelessness in the ring. I don't see, with all the rumors I've been hearing about Nia Jax going back down to developmental because she sucks at wrestling, I can't see them putting the top women's title on her. Asuka's going to win that. Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, WWE Championship match. I don't see Bobby Lashley taking the title off of McIntyre. I think they're going to build him up for a little while until this pandemic shit ends. And then as soon as they get a live audience back, they'll put the title on Brock. It's kind of predictable. Brock Lesnar's a money draw, so he's sitting home collecting his money right now, not working. So good for Brock Lesnar, though. I don't want him to hurt me or anything. Braun Strowman versus The Miz and John Morrison for the Universal Championship. This is kind of interesting. 2 guys taking on 1 guy for a singles championship. And what would happen if the Miz and John Morrison win? Do they got to split the championship? No, that's not even a fucking thought. It's not going to happen. Braun Strowman is going to win, but there's going to be interference from Bray Wyatt. After their Money in the Bank match, Bray Wyatt's been pretty quiet. It's kind of been making me mad because I look forward to those little vignettes every Friday night. But Strowman's going to win. But expect an appearance from Bray Wyatt in any way, shape, or form, whether he's actually there. It's a little promo. Then the final match, which is being regarded as the greatest wrestling match ever, Edge versus Randy Orton. This is definitely going to main event the show. I think everyone wants to see Edge win just for that feel-good factor. I mean, we saw him win at WrestleMania, but I think Randy Orton's going to win. He's going to live up to, I'm a better wrestler than you. And just one more. I can't even see him. I know Edge is Jordan's guy there, but something that they're building up as the greatest wrestling match ever. This better be the greatest wrestling match ever because the ruthless internet wrestling fans are going to be very hard on this match if this match disappoints. Even if this is a 4.5-star match, people are not going to be happy. So that's my wrestling thing for today. Let's get into the next
topic. I'm going to clip that of you saying, I forget the exact quote, but you're like, no, it's not fucking going to happen, all right? It's not going to happen. Get out of your mind. Clip that for future use.
Oh, my gosh. You need to take your blood pressure, dude. Like,
all right, I haven't watched wrestling in probably, I don't know, it's been a while. Like 2011, 2012 was my heyday, all right? That's why, like, we talked about it, Anthony. You made that list of your top 10 wrestlers of all time, right? Gave you a little bit of a shock because you didn't have Edge in there.
Edge was an honorable mention. I don't want to hear it.
But yeah,
and Edge was wrestling for the last 2 years that you watched wrestling. So those were his last 2 years, but we didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even know. I knew he came back because he like left because of a neck, all right? Or something like that.
He was forced to retire because of a broken neck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. He's back though. That's dope.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think
credit. Go ahead,
wrestling. You're good. Wrestling, like the fact that they have fans right now, and even though it's a limited capacity, like they're pretty good. Like kind of going in the first step in the right direction.
Working for them. I don't. No, it's all people working for the. It's like I think I explained this a week or two ago. So there's like the people like first learning how to wrestle, right? And then there's the developmental brand on TV, and then there's the main roster. That's the guys at the very bottom just learning how to wrestle. They're like, all right, come in and give a reaction or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be like the true reaction from an actual fan because they're probably being told, cheer for this one, boo for this one, do this chant here. It's definitely whatever. It's still noise coming in, so I dig it.
I didn't know that. I thought it was actual fans. That sucks. No. Never mind. My point is just not even relevant anymore. I was about to go on some long tangent and I just thrown out the window.
My tangent was long enough.
I was gonna say I want to give a lot of credit to Anthony here for like his weekly WWE.
People want to hear what they want to hear.
You do a great job with it. You just like go off for like 5 minutes there. Give us some.
I get lost. I try to keep up, but I get lost sometimes.
I some water, dude.
Yeah. Just ran out. I got my gallon, but.
All right. Last topic of the day. Only 20 minutes in. Already last topic of the day.
The moment everyone has been waiting for.
Everyone's been waiting for it. Your weekly top 10, everybody. This is what you waited for. Sorry, Jordan. I kind of just screamed to the mic. But,
I like this. I like this crack that energy coming in.
Top 10 centers in the NBA.
I just want to give a quick disclaimer. I want to give a quick disclaimer. I haven't watched basketball in a little while. I had to call up my friends. Shout out Joe and Dylan for helping me out with this one. As you can see, I know more about wrestling than basketball. So, and pro wrestling isn't a sport. So,
I know Graham's getting a fire graphic to get. He might already have it done.
I'm about halfway done.
He probably started some G.
Better have it done. Or he's not getting his weekly.
Yeah, you better have it done, Graham. I mean, come on.
Shut up.
Kind of counting on you.
You want to be on next week? Get it done.
Don't bring back Spencer. I swear.
All right. Do we want to just go around and say our top 10 individually? You want to start with like you want to go by numbers like we did last time?
I like
Let's do
going.
that. I like
All
the
right.
numbers.
All right, I'll start it off, I guess. All right, my number 10's. I don't know if you guys will have him in your list. He's kind of a wild card for me. Or do we want to start with honorable mentions?
I don't have.
I don't have any. I don't have any.
All right, I'll just throw in. I think Vucevic just missed my list, and yeah, that's about it. I have Montrezl Harrell at 10. He really exploded this year, and he's going to get paid this offseason by someone. Who knows? But yeah, he's my 10.
I got Capella.
Capel.
Respectable choice.
Sure.
I've got Hassan Whiteside, number 10.
My number 10, I got Brook Lopez.
That's a wild card too.
Yeah.
He's been good though. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people
definitely.
like underrate the hell out of him. Like he was.
He's very underrated. Like,
Last year, he was such a good shooter too. Last year, he
Oh,
shot
yeah.
like 40%.
I think he's averaged like 2 blocks a game.
yeah.
I think he's just been
Ridiculous.
under. That might be someone else. I don't know. Whatever my
Yeah.
friend.
Dude,
I'm regurgitating
We'll
that information to you.
All right. Number 9, I got Steven Adams.
Yeah, I got Aquaman too.
That's low. Oh, that is low.
Yeah.
I've got Nikola Vucevic at number
Low?
9.
Wait, low as in like.
He deserves more respect. Like
Nah, bro.
Man,
Look at it.
what
now.
else does he do? He gets rebounds and he blocks shots.
He's top 10.
what else is a center supposed to do?
Yeah, bro, but he's not. What does he
We'll
do better than?
we'll see when we get further in the list. I guess.
Yeah. Everyone above him on my list deserves to be above him. There's some guys
I
that
don't
if
think-
you don't have him.
Yeah, it's not a knock on Steven Adams. It's more just like a pat on the back of all those other guys.
Yeah.
How I see it. But
My
I like
number.
Steven
I
Adams.
want to say 2 things. At my number 9, I got Hassan Whiteside, and 2, I want to just say I'm glad that my energy during my whole wrestling skit, has gotten everyone all wild up and rowdy. The energy's just there now. I'm just ready to just go.
Anthony's our hype man.
We need to make that a weekly. Right before our list, we'll have Anthony do his wrestling thing, and it'll get
Yeah,
everyone fired up.
It's all hype
Funny
man.
how
then we'll-
disrespects one of my players again. I'm gonna punch you through the screen.
All right, is that everyone who gave 9? Who did
Yeah.
you have, Anthony?
I had Hassan Whiteside.
Oh, okay. All right. So 8 I have. Graham mentioned this before. We started recording, but 6 through 10 is pretty tough. Like I think the top 5 we kind of agree on, and just in a different order. But 6 through 10 is pretty debatable. I feel like that's generally the thing with every list. There's like a solid top 3 or 4, and then the rest are just you know what. But I have Andre Drummond at 8.
I got Vucevic at 8.
I put Steven Adams at 8.
And I have Miles Turner at number 8.
Wow, that's high for me. He hasn't been that good this year.
Well, see, okay, the thing is that Miles Turner, like, he's an all-star when he's playing at his best. And the thing is that even though he had a bad year this year, I think that, you know, when they come back next year, the Pacers fully healthy, he can be top 10, like, for sure. And I think he is.
He's definitely got that potential.
Okay, I agree with that, but I may be mistaken. Has Steven Adams ever made the All-Star team?
No.
So you have Adams higher than him.
Only by 1 spot. Kind of a dead giveaway because Adams is my number
Spoiler
7.
alert. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know. Okay, we'll talk about it more in depth.
I originally had Adams at 7, so.
So you have Adams at 7.
I originally had him at 7. I moved him down to 8. My number 7 is Andre Drummond.
Okay.
Me
so
too. Yep, I got that.
all right, so then I'll give my 7, and then you guys. I originally had Domantas Sabonis at 7, but we determined before because we're not including AD because we consider him a power forward. We don't want to include Sabonis because Miles Turner's the main guy on that team for the 5 spot.
Wow, really? Really? Miles Turner? Crazy.
Yeah, he shouldn't be. Sabonis is better than Miles Turner. Don't get it twisted. He's better than Miles Turner. He just isn't playing the center.
He kind of has to be as an
He's the
all-star.
main guy, right?
I think he's the main guy for a reason, though. Main guy for a reason. See you next year.
I just replaced Sabonis straight up. I put DeAndre Ayton in there. I've been a DeAndre Ayton fan for ever before he was even drafted. I thought he was going to win Rookie of the Year. Obviously he didn't, but he had a great rookie season. The PEDs kind of tainted his career. Pat mentioned, it is what it is. But I don't know. I think he's still young. He still has so much potential to grow. So I think he can move into the top 5 by the end of his career.
He's good. He's really.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you guys gave your 7, right? So I don't need to go around, right?
I have no problem with DeAndre Ayton being on the list, Because here's the thing. I think we may have talked about this a couple episodes ago, or maybe it was just something that we had mentioned like on and off day or whatever. But like the Suns were doing pretty good in the West until DeAndre Ayton got suspended. And then once they lost him, it fell off hard.
Yeah.
And so it's simply because of that, I think he deserves to be at least in the top 10 or 12. Like just straight up. But the thing is, before he got suspended, he wasn't making noise whatsoever. Like when the Suns were doing well, it was Devin Booker and that's it. I feel like if DeAndre Ayton deserved to be like number 7, you would have heard more about him. And I feel like he's still a solid player. Like you're right, and you're definitely right in saying that he has more room to grow as a player. But I think 7 might be a little high for him.
So
at least right now. At least right now.
Yeah. See, the thing that I think right now, so he's 2 years in, right?
Yeah.
So finishing his second season, Suns are at the bottom again. If he in his third year, him and Booker can't, as long as they're obviously on the same team next year, if him and Booker can't put together a decent run in the regular season, not necessarily saying make the playoffs, but you need to at least push the 8 seed. It's going to get to a point where it's like, look, I have the same opinion about Trae Young. He's a great player, without a doubt. But it's going to get to a point where you can't just keep finishing last in the NBA. No matter how good you are, like you're not going to get praise 20 years from now if you can't push your team to the playoffs. Like AI gets a lot of praise because even though he didn't win a championship, like he was able to push it to he pushed a game against the Shaq Kobe Lakers, that Sixers team was not that good. But like you have to
terrible.
What?
That team was terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Like Trae Young has to. It's not like he has to get the finals like in his third year, but he's got to. I think the same thing with Ayton. Like him and Booker have to get something done, or he's got to. Yeah, exactly. I can see the argument against Ayton. Honestly, I kind of just threw him in there because I'm a diehard freaking Ayton fan, and I don't want to like stray away from that. I just want to stick with him through thick and thin.
All right. I took money from. That's why I took money from Arizona.
All right, number 6. Here's where it gets. I generally think we have the same guys, but I think we're gonna have a different order. I have Porzingis at 6.
I have Porzingis at 6 as well.
Okay.
I have Bam at 6.
Don't ever disrespect my guy again. Don't do it.
That's not even disrespect.
I fucking love that guy.
The thing with Porzingis is. Like this is someone that you had to research. Does he spend more of his time at center or power forward? And I think that's what we had to do with Anthony Davis. I'm just going to give a quick spoiler. Anthony Davis is not on my list just because he spent about 60-something% of his time at power forward. And the rest was center. So the majority of his playing time, he was a power forward on that Lakers team. So that's the only reason I didn't include Davis. If he spent more time as a center, he would have definitely been number 1. No question about it.
Yeah, it's tough. We should make that clear that we're doing centers. So when we post our list, if I see anyone say, why didn't you include like John Collins? He's someone that like if we were doing big men, he would be on my list because John Collins for the Hawks is a great player, but he's a power forward. He's not like he's an undersized big man.
We will flame you in the comment section if you come at
We will. If you flame us, we'll flame you back.
I will destroy you, especially if you come at me for Miles Turner, dude. I will send you back with that.
Graham will delete your comment.
Unless you flame Graham. If you flame Graham for putting Rivers in the top 5, I'm fine.
Yeah, that one I'll wear that one. But Miles Turner, no.
Lamar Jackson at 7. I mean, I had that coming.
Anyway.
Let's go ahead. So we had 3 Porzingises at 6, and then you had Bam at 6.
Yeah.
So 5, I have Bam at 5.
I had Bam at 5 as well.
I had Karl Anthony Towns at 5.
Oh my God, the disrespect to Towns, bro. Oh my God.
Towns is a terrible defender. He is a terrible defender.
But he gets rebounds and he puts up.
So is the center out of Denver.
Towns is one of the worst defensive players in the league right now. Like he's awful. He's so bad.
He's also arguably the best 3-point shooting big man in the league.
Okay, and that's fine. If he had that's half of the game. If he had a defensive game whatsoever, he'd be number 2 on my list.
But he's also a great
defensive. I'm sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Say that about him, and I was thinking, a 3-point big man is a great threat for any team. But you add on top of the fact that he's a shit defender, I had to just switch up my list real quick.
Oh,
that's all it took.
You messed up graphics, what you're saying.
Graham was like, yeah, he's not a good defender, and it's like, fuck. All right.
Dude, him and Devin Booker are like, they're so good, but they are awful on defense. Like they're
Yeah,
so
Bradley
bad.
Beal. Bradley Beal is like the worst in
Yeah.
the league.
So that's the only thing I have against Karl Anthony Towns for me. If Karl Anthony Towns was a better defender, he's number 2 on my list, no question. But he's not.
All right. So a little bit of disparity here.
I'm gonna leave my list just so Graham doesn't have to go through the hassle.
Thank you.
All right. I have Gobert at 4.
I have Gobert
Me too.
4 as well.
Okay.
I've got Porzingis at 4.
All right. See,
This thing
like
is-
Porzingis when he's healthy, like
When he's healthy, yeah.
or pre-injury, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
But
Towards the
and I
end of
think
the year, he picked it up a
he
lot.
was on the way to becoming maybe even the best big man in the league.
Yeah.
This year he's been okay. He started off the year like really slow, and then when Luka cooled down, then he picked it up. Or Luka got injured, he picked it up. So I don't know. I don't know what to think of him. I think him and Luka could be like a dynamic duo of the future. So they could help each
I
other.
think so too. I think that when I make these lists, I go off of if everybody is completely healthy.
Yeah.
I'm not because like if we were to first say do top 10 NBA players, Kevin Durant is my number 1 because when he's healthy and on, nobody can guard him. Absolutely no one.
Yeah.
But obviously he's hurt, so it's a different story right now. But
Yeah.
if he's healthy and active, it's over. So that's why I have Porzingis at 4 because when he's healthy, he's definitely a top 4 big man in the league.
But would you have considered him healthy this year? That's the thing.
Parts
Like,
of it. He was so on and off.
yeah, I know. He turned it on in the second half of the year. I think post like Christmas break ish, he was like very good. But I just think at the beginning of the year he was like averaging like 11 or 12 points a game. Like he didn't even see. It seemed like Luka was literally carrying that team, and like that shouldn't be the case. Like if you're gonna be a top 5 big man for me, you gotta like significantly help your team. And I think if you took Porzingis out of the equation on the Mavericks, I don't know how much worse they would actually be. You know what I mean?
I think towards the end of the season, he definitely like picked it up when Luka went down. And hopefully in the playoffs he can do something for sure to kind of bolster his reputation. I want to say I have him in a 2K franchise, and he is absolutely insane just because he's so tall and he gets all the hits.
Yeah,
I will say that for him. He's got that going for him for sure.
All right. So we've got down to our top 3. I believe me, Pat, and Anthony all have the same top 3, but in different order.
Your
And
3
then
through
Graham-
6s are all the same.
3 through 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. You're right.
Okay, so
minds
for
think
number
alike.
3,
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Shut up, okay, for number 3, y'all all have Karl Anthony Towns, right?
Yes.
Okay, I've got
Not
Rudy
gonna lie
Gobert
though.
at 3.
Almost put him at 2. Not gonna lie.
Oh.
Yeah, I've Cat.
I've got Gobert at 3 simply because he's got both sides of the game. It's the same thing.
Does he though? Does he though? If he was not 7-2, he would not have any offensive game.
Yeah.
He's one of the few big men in the league that still has good post moves, and I appreciate that so much. Like, it's such a lost art in today's NBA.
Like the mid-range.
He's such a pure center. Like, he plays defense. He can bully people in the post. Like, he gets rebounds.
Got his whole team sick. He checks off all the boxes.
Yeah, I know. He
canceled the NBA season.
He's so good on defense. He shut down the entire league at once.
Unreal. Unprecedented.
Okay, but my question would be this: how many of his points come? I feel like I don't know. You could say this about any center, but I feel like how many of his points come from just like missed shots from outside, and he grabs a rebound because he's freakishly tall, and then just like puts it back. Like I feel like it's the same thing if like Taco Fall became really good. Like I would love it. I love Taco Fall. But yeah, he's very good.
Really good.
If you guys saw that video of him shooting that 3, watch out. But like if all of his points came from just like second chance points, I'd be like, all right, he's a good center, but like how much of it is really coming from like him like outplaying the team? I don't know. I think Gobert definitely like he's outstanding defensive player of the year like every year theoretically. Obviously he doesn't win it every year, but I think
he should this year for sure.
Bro. AD.
I don't know. Yeah. Marcus Smart.
IT probably
IT.
the same season.
If there was an opposite award for defensive player of the year.
All right. So 1 and 2, we have the same 1 and 2, right?
Yeah.
Every one of us.
But I think
But it's
Jordan. I
different.
think yours is a different order.
Yeah, I
Number
haven't beat
one.
it too.
You guys,
Yeah.
Embiid's one.
oh my God. You wanna talk
Embiid
about-
is
you guys wanna
Embiid
talk
is
about-
Powering
Embiid
down
is number
a bit.
You guys
one.
want to talk about defense, and you haven't beat it 2.
I
And
haven't beat it.
I have Jokic at 2.
I think Jokic. It was really tough. I hate Joel Embiid. Like, hate him. So that definitely factored in. A lot of people are like, I don't like the Sixers because I don't like Simmons. I don't like Brett Brown. I don't like their fans. I don't like the Sixers because I fucking hate Joel Embiid. Okay? So that definitely
You got
factored in.
against
All
him.
right, so I've been reading the bios of every episode, non-biased sports analysis. We got to take that.
Yeah,
Wait, that's in
thanks,
the
Jordan.
bio
We gotta
on
take that
YouTube?
out.
Yes, that is in the bio.
I put that in there? Okay, well, that ain't true. I must have just, I don't know what I was thinking.
Oh God.
Yeah, okay, we're definitely biased. Like, I don't even
Non-biased sports opinions put Ennis Cancer in the top 10.
yeah.
Okay, so here's my. So we both. So you guys have Embiid at 1. I have Embiid at 2. So we can debate Jokic and Embiid. I feel like that is the debate. It's either Jokic or it's Embiid. My
Yeah.
thing
Debate
is,
Jordan.
Jokic can run an offense. He can shoot the 3 better than Embiid. He's a better passer, and scoring wise, I think it's almost identical. Defensively, Embiid's a monster. That's the only thing I think he has on Jokic, in my opinion.
But on
Okay,
top of all
here's the
that, you
thing.
fucking hate Joel Embiid.
Yeah, exactly. That definitely
Okay.
influenced it.
Jordan-
But it was more of like it just like kind of added on. Like it was
That's
like
like the cherry on top.
yeah,
I
exactly.
can see your argument. I am very. It's not like I'm outraged with you putting Embiid at number 2. Like, it is a very valid argument because Jokic, like, you saw him in the skills challenge the other year. Like, he can do pretty much anything. Like, the only thing is that he is not super quick.
Oh, watch
and
out though.
He does,
He's cut weight. He's
yeah. He slimmed down a little bit. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that one.
Yeah.
But and he doesn't have the defensive side. So if he can work on that, then he's number 1, no question.
Yeah.
But as of right now, I think Embiid he's just such a bully. Like, watching him play, like, he will dominate anybody that anyone puts on him.
Yeah.
And
But I did say
that's because Al Horford is soft. Al
Embiid.
Horford is so soft.
Al Horford
Yeah.
has hair. Have you guys? I just want to say, have you seen that? I thought he was bald, and I saw a video of him the other day, and he has like a mini
You got a
fro.
little bit on the side, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he didn't have any hair, but
He needs to shave.
I was
That
so outraged when the 76ers gave him that massive contract because Al Horford doesn't deserve like anything. If he listens to this, I hope he listens to this because Al Horford is so soft. He's like the softest big man that the league has seen in years. He hasn't been good in like 10 years, and it blows my mind that he makes the kind of money that he makes.
Yeah, but what if
Non-biased sports analysis, people.
conspiracy theory here though? What if Al Horford? What if him and Ainge talked about it? They're like, all right, here's the deal. We don't want to pay you, but can you please sign with the Sixers, get that max deal, ruin their cap space, and then gut them from the inside and make them one of the most dysfunctional teams in the league.
Boston.
Pull a
I
Nick
mean,
Batum.
Everyone was like, yo, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, Joel Embiid, like Josh Richardson. That's going to be the team. Like, that's going to be the team to beat. And now, like, they're sitting at the 6th seed. So I don't know. Everything changed once Al Horford got there, and not for the better. So, all right, that finishes our top 10.
I'll say this for Embiid. I want to make a case for Embiid real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
He averages the most points for a center since Shaquille O'Neal. His defensive presence, I think, is probably matched only by Gobert, but I think Embiid's game is just more explosive. He can just he can flat out, like, Gobert can dominate the boards and blocks and whatnot, but Embiid can dominate a game. Like, one of the last games of the season, he was hitting, like, it was his career high. I think he had, like, 40-something points, and he was hitting, like, step-back threes. Like, he's got the game. He doesn't use it as much. But I think, like, back when he came into the league as a rookie, like, in his 3rd year, he, like, transformed that Sixers team, which I think is a testament to the impact he has. And not to say Jokic doesn't have one, but his is mostly on the offensive end. I think Embiid's duality as like a dual threat guy is just what gives him the nod over him. But like you said, if Jokic can increase his like athletic ability and his defensive prowess, he's definitely out for that one spot.
Yeah. I want to say one thing. I was going to mention this, but we got off track with trashing on Embiid and the Sixers. But like Embiid, like another thing that Jokic has on Embiid is that Embiid gets injured so much. Like he has a problem with like keeping a full season together. There goes Graham. That got him a little bit angry. I guess he just said peace.
Yeah.
No, there's someone with his camera. He'll get back in here. But like in terms of durability, I think like there's no question that Jokic, even though he is a bigger guy and he's not as maybe athletic as him, he also can play the entire season. He's led the Nuggets to a 60-win season, I believe, last year. And like the West is really tough, so they haven't obviously gotten to the final NBA Finals. But I don't know. It's definitely close. Like I don't think there's a clear cut. If you put Embiid at 1, like you guys said, I put Jokic at 1. You don't think it's like absurd, and if you put Embiid at 1, you're not absurd either. Like I think it's almost split, honestly, throughout the NBA of who thinks Jokic and Embiid are better. But that's all I have to say on that. That was a good list, though.
I think that's all we got. Yeah, we took up like 20 minutes with that too.
That was good. Yeah, it's a shorter one here. But yeah, look out for Graham posting that probably tomorrow or tonight. I don't remember when he said he's going to do it, but we'll keep those lists coming and keep ripping us. We love the hate in the comments.
What do you want to do next week?
Yeah,
I feel like we got to start announcing them.
Should we just go NBA positions? Like,
should we do best guards in the league?
Yeah, we can go back and forth.
Point and shooting guards. Let's establish that now.
Do we want to just combine guards? I feel like it's better if we just combine guards because then it's
we
like
just do You know
what I mean?
Centers, guards, forwards.
Yeah. Because I feel like that might be a little bit easier. Yeah, we'll say we'll do some NBA lists next week, and then we'll transfer to NFL a couple weeks from now. Maybe we should do like a top 10 in the league right now because that's a pretty big debate about which positions hold the most value. So.
Right.
We can do that definitely. I don't know if Graham's hopping back in here. I mean, we're about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll just wrap it up. And on behalf of us three, we'll just say, peace out from Graham.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing. Yeah, I want to say one thing. I didn't have a jersey on, but I got to rip this shirt. Jordan.
Oh,
there we go.
That's clean.
All right.
It's clean.
I don't want to look like I was the only one not wearing a jersey. I still got that. I'm still repping that Michael Jordan.
You got MJ, so you're good.
Merch. Yeah. All right. Want to clear that up? Go ahead.
All right. Peace out, boys. See you next week.
Tune in next week for the new guys pick up basketball game. Next week. That's something to catch.
Peace.